I really needed that break. I was starting to feel slightly burned out with how much shit I did in October. This place looks really different. That hat looks awfully familiar. As you can tell, I got a new background done. Cat comes through, but pay her. Seriously, there is a furry mafia, and we respect our artists. So it is back to true crime, and the next couple I am doing are going to deal with children and teens, because children can be just as dangerous and demented as adults. The first of these 3 videos is going to deal with 2 mentally ill girls who thought that a creepypasta was real. They wanted to become proxies of this creepypasta, and to do so, they decided to sacrifice one of their friends. Fueled by images and a story from the darkest corners of the internet, Anissa Weier and Morgan Geyser would savagely attack Payton Leutner, all in the name of Slender Man. Before we talk about the attack, we are going to learn about Slender Man itself, its origins. It all started with a picture. June 10th, 2009, the Something Awful forums was hosting a Photoshop contest. Users were challenged to make their own paranormal images. Eric Knudsen, under the alias Victor Surge, uploaded 2 photos, black and white photos of groups of children. In them, he added a grotesquely tall and thin apparition in the background. Unlike others who submitted photos, Eric added something to his. He added texts from witnesses in his created story of what happened, describing abductions of children by a being known only as the Slender Man. Under the first photo he captioned, "We didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them, but its persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and comfort us at the same time. 1983, photographer unknown, presumed dead." The second photo was captioned, "One of 2 recovered photographs from the Sterling City Library blaze, notable for being taken on the day which 14 children vanished and for what was referred to as the Slender Man. Deformities cited as film defects by officials. Fire at library occurred 1 week later. Actual photograph confiscated as evidence. 1986. Photographer Mary Thomas. Missing since June 13, 1986. The Something Awful forums would be where the Slender Man and his mythos grew. Soon authors added to the character's power, backstory, and darkness. Eric would soon lose control of his own creation as others took the reins, creating stories, artwork, cosplay, and other things. But one thing would remain from those photos. Slender Man would target children, teenagers, and young adults. A part of his power is when he is near, and intense paranoia takes hold of the victim. The victim would have nightmares, delusions, and nosebleeds. He can teleport. He is associated with forests and abandoned places. With the majority of the stories using him, the fate of the victim is left to the imagination. This isn't a story of gore and slaughter, but of psychological torture and fear. Eric's original work was inspired by Jack Parsons' The Insidious Beast, Stephen King's The Mist, H.P. Lovecraft, and others. With the viral nature of his creation and large fandom, it isn't a surprise 2 young girls grew to love the character. But what they did in the name of this creation was shocking. Waukesha, Wisconsin is the home of this story, a small city that is its county seat, a place where 3 little girls all lived, played, and became friends. Payton Leutner befriended Morgan Geyser when they were in the 4th grade. Payton seemed to have been a kind-hearted person who felt that Morgan looked lonely, so they became friends. Morgan, for what it is known, was a creative person and made Payton laugh. Payton considered Morgan to be her best friend. In 6th grade, Payton met and befriended Anissa Weier. Anissa and Morgan's friendship started to strain the friendship of Payton and Morgan as Morgan spent more time with Anissa. This was most likely because in 6th grade, Morgan became obsessed with Slender Man stories. Stories she would share with her family and friends. Payton, for her part, wasn't a fan to say the least, saying she found them odd, but was trying to be supportive of her friends, so said little about it. Anissa, on the other hand, lived in the same area as Morgan, rode the same bus as Morgan, and became interested in the Slender Man stories as well. Payton and Anissa seem to have had a mutual dislike for one another as well, which honestly is kind of interesting because of what happens later, but you'll see what I mean when I get to it. But Payton wanted to sever her friendship with Morgan, but Morgan kept guilt-tripping her, so she stayed in the friendship. It is probably no coincidence, though, that around the time Payton was trying to leave her friendship, that Morgan and Anissa began to believe Slender Man was real. They claimed he would speak to them telepathically, that he lived in an old mansion 5 hours away from where they live. I'm going to state this here, that Morgan Geyser was schizophrenic, something she inherited from her father. Anissa Weir suffered from shared delusional disorder. Morgan's own mental illness was feeding into Anissa, so what Morgan believed, Anissa believed. You see, they believed that if they sacrificed someone, they would prove Slender Man is real, and they would go live with him and be his proxies. They also believed that if they refused this, Slender Man would slaughter everyone they loved, so they decided to give in and sacrifice someone to Slender Man. That sacrifice would be Payton. Anissa and Morgan were not the most methodical killers out there. The fact is, they had planned this, but kept running into setbacks. For instance, on Morgan's birthday, they had planned to kill her at a sleepover, but were too tired after a day out. They also thought of luring her to a bathroom stall the next day, but they chickened out. So instead, they lured her in the woods for hide and seek. Anissa would comment later that Morgan and her were going to stalk Payton like lionesses. On May 31st, 2014, they did just that, stalking her through the woods, pretending to play hide and seek. They tackled Payton and pinned her to the ground. Now here comes the irony. You would think Anissa would have been the one to do the stabbing, since Payton and her didn't get along. But it wasn't Anissa who did the stabbing. It was Morgan, her own best friend. Payton was stabbed 19 times, in the arms, legs, and torso, with a 5-inch long blade that one of the girls brought. I say one of them because Morgan and Anissa differ on who took the blade. Payton's liver was cut, her stomach was cut, her diaphragm pierced. One stab missed one of her major arteries in her heart by a millimeter. All Anissa did was egg it on. After the attack, Anissa and Morgan told Payton that they were going to get help. While it seems like a change of heart for the girls, the truth is they were lying. Payton's last words to Morgan, the friend that just stabbed her, the person she had befriended and known since the 4th grade, were, "I trusted you." And then she followed that up with, "I hate you." With that, Morgan and Anissa left Payton to die. But she didn't die. She pulled herself up, dragged her as far as she could before she collapsed. If there are angels looking out for us, one was looking out for Payton because at the same time, a cyclist was passing the area. At 10 a.m., a cyclist was passing by on a road. Payton had dragged herself to the shoulder of that same road. When the cyclist saw her, he immediately called 911. And this is that 911 call.
911. What's the address of your emergency?
Waukesha County, Lindy. I'm transferring over a caller on Big Bend at the dead end just south of Rivera.
Okay.
Came upon a 12-year-old female. She appears to be stabbed.
She appears to be what?
Stabbed.
Stabbed?
Correct.
Okay.
Sir, you still there?
Yes.
Hi, sir. So, are you with this 12-year-old female?
Yes, she says she's having trouble breathing. She said she was stabbed multiple times.
Stabbed multiple times?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Are you with her right now?
Yes.
Is she awake?
She's awake.
Is she breathing?
Yeah, she's breathing. She said she can take shallow breaths. She's alert.
Okay, stay with her. We're sending the police department. Don't hang up, okay?
Oh,
hold on just a minute. Don't hang up.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on just a minute, sir. We're sending officers. Okay. Is there any assailant around?
I didn't even look. I don't see anybody.
It's a dead end. Okay, stay right with her, sir. Is she on the ground or is she standing up?
No, she's laying on the grass.
Laying on the grass. Stay right with her. Just let me know if she is remaining conscious or not, okay?
Okay.
Is there any bleeding going on?
Her clothing has got blood on it.
Where are the wounds? Do you see where the wounds are?
No, I don't know if I should be rolling her over and checking or not. Do you know where?
Okay, just stay with her and just let me know if she's conscious or alert or stops breathing or anything. Hold on, I'm going to talk to the ambulance. Police are also en route.
Okay, thank you. I'm bothering you at all? My shade? Okay. You're very
Okay. Just keep her in that position. Just let me know on her breathing.
Okay.
What's your name, sir?
My name?
Your name.
My name.
Okay, were you just passing through?
Yes.
Okay, and you found her and she was just laying there?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you see any active bleeding or blood spurting out or anything like that?
No, unless it's underneath her. I just see just dried blood.
Okay, just dried blood. Okay. Okay, is she still breathing? Is she still alert?
Yeah.
Okay, stay with her.
Yep.
Stay with her. Keep an eye on her. Hold on just a minute. Do not hang up, sir.
Okay, I will not. Any minute. Who did that to you? Or don't you want to talk?
And she didn't say who did this or how it happened?
I don't know if she wants to be talking. I started to ask her, and then
that's okay. If she's
got to save her energy, I think.
Okay, but you see nobody else around you. Are you clearly visible when they pull down that road towards the dead end that they'll see you?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Are you clearly visible when they come down there so they see you?
I got a strobe flashlight on my bicycle. I'll shine that towards any emergency vehicle I see. And I'll be standing in the middle of the road.
You're in the middle of the road, and where's she, in the side of the road?
Yeah, she's on the grass. It's a little trail I take on my bicycle.
Okay, see. Don't hang up, sir. Just stay right with me.
Okay.
And let me know immediately if you see anything else suspicious in the area, a car, a person, anything.
All right.
Keep your eyes open. Was anyone coming or leaving, or any cars coming or leaving when you came upon her?
No.
Nothing?
No.
So were you on foot walking by, or did you pull up in a car?
Bicycle.
You're on a bicycle?
Yeah.
How did you see her? Did you just...
She's right in the middle of the little path I take.
Middle of the little path. Okay.
Yeah. There's a squad car coming now.
Okay, the squad car coming? Okay, flag the squad car down, protect her.
There he's coming.
Does she have a bike or anything with her?
No, I don't see it. One sandal is off, but, maybe 3 feet away from her.
Okay, flag that officer down. I'm going to let you go. Okay, you meet with him right now, okay?
Okay,
thank you.
Before I continue, I have to mention there are some who blame the parents, saying they were not in their children's lives enough to stop this from happening. The truth is, Anissa's father was very attentive to his daughter. He would even cut her off from the internet at 7:30 in the evening to spend time with family. He gave her space and gave her privacy, but he was very involved in her life. Same with Morgan. Her parents doted on her and did what they could for her. Morgan's mother was aware of Morgan's interests because Morgan shared them, and she stated she thought it was harmless, which it was until the attack. Morgan's interest didn't set off any warning flags. The only thing that did to her mother was Morgan's lack of empathy. But lacking empathy doesn't mean that you murder somebody or attempt to murder somebody. For the parents, there are very few warning signs, and most of them were so small that they could be dismissed without any other thoughts. Payton told the first responding officer that Morgan had stabbed her. Payton made it to the hospital and after immediate surgery would make a full recovery. But while she was in surgery, the manhunt for Morgan and Anissa had begun. You see, police only had Morgan's name. For whatever reason, Payton didn't mention Anissa, but when police went to Morgan's home, Morgan's mother did mention Anissa, and that they weren't there. So where were they? Close to 5 miles up an interstate. They were headed to where they thought Slender Man was to hide there. With them was the knife. According to police, Anissa felt guilty and distraught over her actions while Morgan was completely emotionless. I'm going to play excerpts from their interrogations. First we have Anissa.
I'm being 100% honest with you. And this whole time that I'm going to be talking today, I'm going to be very honest, and I'm not carrying any tricks or anything, okay? I can see that you're upset, and but I will try to find out that information for you. Do you have a wrist, a bracelet on?
I have 2.
Can I have you take those off?
I made that one, and then my friend Kelly gave me this one.
Oh, they're neat. My nieces and nephews made me the rubber band one. Okay. All right, I'll be right back with you, okay? Just give me a couple minutes. Okay.
This is about Morgan. She can be a little jumpy and like get off task and look around and forget what she's saying in the middle of a sentence a lot.
Okay.
Because, she says she hears voices too. But I just wanted to tell you.
So we're aware of that? Maybe not to put off by that then? Okay. Well, thank you for telling me that. Okay. Okay, I'll be right back.
I didn't know I was in danger until after Morgan stabbed Payton, or Bella, as people call her.
They call her Bella? Okay. You go to school, Payton?
Yes, Bella.
Okay. So, can we start from the beginning? So you guys, this was a birthday party, right? Okay, kind of tell me what happened.
So, there's this website called the Creepypasta Wiki.
Okay.
It's full of, like, horror stories that are meant to purposely scare you through, like, online literature and all that.
Okay.
And there's one of them called Slender Man. It's, like, really, Slender Man? Slender Man.
Oh, Slender Man, like a skinny guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, he has these proxies, or servants, as people call them.
Okay.
Masky and Hoodie. And Morgan said, "Hey, Anissa, we should be proxies." And I was like, "Okay, how would we do that?" And that was around end of December, beginning of January.
Okay.
She is full of regret, uncomfortable, and scared. But she also seems to calm herself when talking about Slender Man. But hearing her explain Slender Man, killers, and proxies is just weird. She is 12 and she's talking like an expert. But now here's Morgan.
At the time, the press didn't know I'm in here because we were careless. I knew this would happen. I knew we'd get in trouble.
Well, we're just trying to sort this all out right now to figure out what all happened. So you wanted to get locked up so you would get in trouble?
I didn't really genuinely want to be locked up, but at one point I sort of did. It seemed...
So you guys decided a while ago that on the sleepover night that this is when you do it?
Yeah.
Why do you think it was your sleepover night that you're doing it?
Because we would all be together. It was a flawless plan, actually. I don't know exactly why, though.
So you guys got the knife from your mom's house. You guys ended up going to the park.
Yeah.
And then you guys went down by the woods. Why did you guys go over by the woods?
Because we knew what we had to do. We led her there and tricked her. The last thing she said to me was, "I trusted you." And then she said, "I hate you."
Morgan is a stark contrast from Anissa. She is more egotistical, more cold. She gets to the facts and shows no emotion in her voice. I should say I'm not a psychiatrist, but it's clear that something is really wrong with Morgan. Anissa, I feel, has guilt, while Morgan is chillingly cold. A search of Morgan's locker at school and a search of her bedroom at home, investigators came to the realization that Morgan was the ringleader in the plot. What they found was creepy art, mutilated dolls, and a lot of internet searches about murder. Because of the evidence in their confessions, basically both were arrested and charged. Morgan with first-degree attempted homicide, and Anissa with second-degree attempted homicide. They were not going to be charged in juvenile court, though. They were going to be charged as adults. In 2017, Anissa pled guilty, but she was found not guilty by reason of insanity or mental defect. She was shown to have shared delusional disorder. She would get 25 years to life in a state mental institution.
With what happened. So I want to, and you've read the criminal complaint at various times?
I have, Your Honor.
All right, if you're familiar with what's alleged in the complaint?
Yes, sir.
Tell me what happened on May 31, 2014 that causes you to be in court today.
There was a plan that was put into action that involved myself, the co-defendant, and another one of our classmates, along with the want to please a fictional character. And the plan was to hurt the other classmate or kill the other classmate. And that plan was put into action but failed.
Morgan pled guilty as well, and like Anissa, she was found not guilty by reason of insanity or mental defect. This was due to her schizophrenia, but she got 40 years to life inside a mental institution.
Then tell me what happened. What did you do on May 31, 2014?
I hurt Bella.
And Bella would be, we call her PL.
I hurt PL.
All right, so what did you do?
I stabbed her.
So tell me how that all came about. How did you get to wherever the stabbing occurred? It's okay. Don't put her mama. Why don't you take your glasses off? Can you reach your face or no?
Payton has been on the news a bunch of times to tell her story, with the last one being in 2020. She relayed how she had nightmares and finds it hard to make new friends. She also had trouble sleeping alone for the longest time. But she is an optimistic young woman who is probably in university somewhere as she inspired to pursue a career in the medical field. She had a lot of trauma and has been able to overcome it. The scars from the attack she has stated are a part of her, and she has learned to live with them. Honestly, she is kind of an inspiration if you think about it. She could have died, but she didn't. She could have let this attack define her, but she chose to rise above it. She really is someone that young girls could look up to as a tough, now 19-year-old woman who made sure that the evil of that night would not beat her. Morgan is still in a mental institution, but Anissa is not. She was able to gain her freedom through a letter and many appeals. On July 1st of 2021, Anissa walked free, but with a lot of conditions to that. She is assigned to the Department of Health Services and has to check in. She is not allowed to leave Waukesha County without permission. She is monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Her internet is monitored. She is not allowed any social media. She has to take medication and to be escorted to therapy sessions by a caseworker. The scary part about this is how much the parents were blindsided by this. While Morgan showed some signs that something was wrong, Anissa didn't. While we'd like to say the parents need to monitor their kids, there is only so much a parent can do. I highly doubt Anissa or Morgan's parents even thought that their daughters were capable of this. But they live with it now, and there's nothing they can do to stop the onslaught of guilt they feel and the pointing of fingers at them as the cause of their children's behavior. And to that I say it's really unfair. These kids didn't come from abusive or broken homes. They came from loving homes. And it's disturbing what a child can do to another child. But these were just children. Next week, we move on to what teens could do to a child when jealousy, rage, and hatred rears its ugly head.